You're just in time for part one. What's the deal with the prodigal son? So let's get her done.
Okay, so first, we've got to understand that Jesus taught by using real life stories that connected with things that were going on in the daily lives of the people that were listening to him. You know, workers, Pharisees, tax collectors, rich and the poor. Now, Jesus relied heavily on parables, which could be considered an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Now, according to Mark 4:3-4, he didn't say anything to them without using a parable. Now, there are 39 distinct parables of Jesus recorded in the New Testament. Now, today we're going to examine the prodigal son. You'll find that in Luke 15:11-32. Now, I prefer the title, The Forgiving and Loving Father. And by the way, prodigal means rashly or wastefully extravagant. Now, this is one of the shorter parables, only 981 words long, and it barely covers a single page. But don't misunderstand, don't be misled. It may be short, but it's filled with many lessons that we can apply to our lives today. It's truly like an onion. As you peel back each layer, you'll find deeper meaning and understanding. And just like an onion, some of those messages just might make your eyes tear up. So let's start. Luke 15:11-32. And he said there was a man who had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the property that is coming to me." And so he divided his property between them. Now, not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had and took a journey to a faraway country. And there he squandered his property in reckless living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into the fields to feed pigs. Now, he was longing to be fed with the pods that he was feeding the pigs, but no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. So treat me as one of your hired servants.' And he arose, and he came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him, felt compassion, and ran and embraced him, kissed him even. And the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is now found.' So they began to celebrate. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the servants and asked what this is all about. The servant said to him, 'Your brother has come home, and your father has killed the fattened calf, because he has received him back safe and sound.' But he was angry and refused to go in. So his father came out and entreated him. But he answered his father, 'Look, these many years I've served you. I've never disobeyed you or your command. Yet you never gave me so much as a goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came home, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, well, you killed the fattened calf for him.' And he said to him, 'Son, you're always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is now found.' And he said to him, Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is now alive. He was lost, but is now found. So what is the lesson here? Now, the first time I heard this parable, I was personally dealing with a rebellious teen of my own. A good family can have a child go astray. I've talked with many Christians, and it's surprising to me just how many of us have had to contend with rebellious teenagers. Now, the initial message I heard was that you can't force your child into submitting to your love and protection. The best we can offer them is to let them know that we love them and that they should ever want to come home. The door is always open to them, along with our forgiveness. And I've since found greater and deeper meanings to this parable. So next week, we're going to pull out our shovels, roll up our sleeves, and we're going to dig deeper, a lot deeper.
So mark your calendar, subscribe, tie a string on your finger, leave a sticky note, whatever it takes, because you don't want to miss next week's part 2 of What's the Deal with the Prodigal Son.